to the Podcast Without Fear, a podcast all about Netflix's hit TV show, Daredevil. I am, of course, your host, Zachary here, and with me, as always, is Jesse Jackson. No, not that one.
That is right. We are here to talk Daredevil. We are here to talk
the second to last episode, the ones we leave behind.
Yeah, we are so close to the ending. I cannot believe, after all this time, you and I, after we hit goodbye on this one, we are free to go watch the final episode. And that is so cool.
Yep.
I got to tell you, this is another good episode. They have gotten their pace going. They are building up momentum, and it is, at this point you feel like the Stephen DeKnight and his writing team and Drew Goddard and them, all the creative people said, look, we may only get one season, so let's make it one of the best frickin' TV seasons, comic book adaptions we can ever do, because they are going for broke.
Definitely.
They are, to mix our sports metaphors, but they are leaving it all on the field, and that is just awesome.
Mm-hmm. So we see Karen going after the after effects of it. She's getting dry, and I'm very, because I know she's had a interesting backstory in the comics. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do for her backstory in the show, because she's drinking, she's daydreaming that Fisk is in her house, telling her that killing gets easier.
Yeah, the first thing she does is she throws the gun into the water, and and I assume that's the river or the ocean. I guess it doesn't matter, but I started thinking, I wonder what body of water that is. And then we do see her going home, and she's drinking straight from the bottle. She's showering, and she can't scrub it herself enough. She keeps crying. She wakes up with the bottle empty, and she's still dreaming with Fisk being in the room, which is a great scene considering how the end of the episode mirrors that, right?
And it's funny because the whole date, that kind of thing, is so cliched. But it was not here.
No, and I kind of suspected it, that she was dreaming, because I don't think he would have found it that fast, but I think it was a perfect of what her subconscious would be working on.
Yes, no, her talking with Foggy. I wonder, is this going to get resolved this season? Because I don't know if they can they have the resolution just in the finale?
I don't know, and I thought it was a great scene in the office when Foggy's there and they banter a little bit, but you could see both their hearts aren't into it. Foggy's making a few jokes about the Mary Jane, and it made him drool, and that maybe they should stop drinking, but let's do drugs, and it's a fun banter, but you can tell their heart's not into it. And I will tell you, as Foggy's leaving and Matt's coming in, and not a word is spoken, and Karen going, "Oh no, that wasn't awkward at all," was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and I love when she's asking about the man in the mask, and we have to see him now speak of him, because now he knows that it's Matt, and he does it, and he has to say to her, I don't think he's a terrorist.
Yeah, but he doesn't betray his friend, and I think that's for a couple of reasons. One, he still has a sense of loyalty to Matthew. And second, he doesn't want to disillusion Karen the same way he was disillusioned. At least that's how I think it. I think they're both driving this.
Yes, and the dynamic between the three of them is quite the thing to watch. And the fact that, again, she's trying to get, they all have secrets. They're all trying to tell each other, and she's holding on, she's holding on to what she can, but everything's just falling apart.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then Matt, like they can't tell each other what's going on. They all can sense, like, and obviously I'm guessing Matt being Matt can sense her heartbeat going really really fast probably.
Absolutely.
So they have the little moments where they talk but they don't say anything to each other. Then we get Vanessa waking up.
Yeah, and it was great to see Wilson smiling. I mean, with
Yeah.
such relief. And it was, it's very clear how much he cares about her. And so, and to see that, the joy in his eyes, the smile, she's okay. And, and then immediately, right, he's like, look, I've made arrangements. I was foolish to think this could happen. And, she's like, stop. I knew what I was getting into by being in a relationship with you. So once again, we have talked about this the whole season. Their relationship is so wonderful to watch. And to see them the way they care about each other, and the way she understands him, and he can be himself with her. And so, well done, just awesome.
Yes, and I'd be interesting to see who like once he becomes Kingpin and doesn't hold back. And what's fascinating is because then she just said, like, she's the Kingpin's wife. Like, it's obviously she's going to have a hand at him becoming Kingpin.
Yes.
And, like, she's like, no, so I'm not going anywhere. We're going to find these people. We're going to make them see what happens when you mess with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Wilson, in this scene when he finds out that Wesley's dead. Which we still see how much he cared
Yes.
about him.
And, for all of Leland's weaselness, I do agree with him helping the guy, right? Like, look, he was loyal. Maybe, we should, supportive of that. Maybe, we should be grateful for that. That was really, really interesting. And truly, Wilson is just reacting out of grief, and he's just mad that his friend is dead.
Well, even Leland's surprised, like, because of the timing of it, of course, Fisk believes that the same people who poisoned Vanessa, although he still thinks he was the target. He doesn't know yet that.
Yeah.
I wonder if I really hope he finds out. I really do. Because that's not, because, I mean, he can understand an enemy come, but if it's Leland and Gao, he's just that's betrayal.
Yeah, and I would be. That was really gutsy of them to do, and you know how Karen is having nightmares at night, worrying about Fisk finding out. If I was, Leland, I would be having the same problem. Now, Madame Gao, she seems like she has ice water in her veins and isn't even worried. But really, really.
Now, something I look, because I didn't realize it till the rewatch, because when Yurik, because it's when Matt talks to him, I like how he says, "You sound like a boxer." That was great. But
Yeah, very good.
when he gives him the hair, and I never thought to look up, but that symbol is actually the symbol on the drugs is from Marvel Comics.
Okay, I did not know that.
Neither did I, because and I think Netflix is really good at planting the seeds of their future shows, because he says the drug is called Steel Serpent, and Steel Serpent is an enemy of Iron Fist.
Oh, okay, very nice.
And I'm looking at him right now, and the symbol on his chest is the symbol on the drugs. That's gotta mean something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything about I don't see anything about a woman, so I don't know how Gal ties into it, but I'm sure it's something like that. And I'll talk about more when we get to the Madame Gal scene, but so it should be interesting. I mean, I'm sure it's going to tie into that. Or maybe that's how maybe she's gonna, and I think she's gonna leave Daredevil and become because I'm getting way ahead, but so they're talking about going after Fisk, and again, Yurik saying he's not sure. Oh, and then we get this great scene with Foggy and Marcy.
Yes, and we talked about this, and we are big Foggy fans. Both of us are, and it shows how smart he is. It shows he's pushing forward, and Marcy's a little disappointed that it wasn't a booty call because, according to her, he was pretty good last time. So I say yes for Foggy.
The funny friends getting some.
Yes, yay! So yeah, really, really nice.
But and he's saying because he knows that she is at her core a good person and a good lawyer. So he's like, "Are you telling me there's nothing going on
Mm-hmm.
and she can't tell him that it's not true?"
Yeah, and and she said, "Okay, I'm gonna have a few, just take 5 minutes," and we later find out that was longer than 5 minutes, right? He was actually reading all the data.
Yeah, and then we get a quick scene with Karen and Ben trying to convince him that he's trying to tell her that there's just no story again. They jump around a bit, then we jump back to some great parkour, some very Daredevil moments of him following the blind drug mule.
Yeah, not a lot of dialogue, but some great special effects, some him moving around, showing him using his, senses, and I thought it's a nice payoff to, we had seen that earlier in the season, and even Ben had said, who's going to notice a blind guy, and he, of course, means that with no irony, but we get the irony.
Right. So we see Ben. He's still not. I don't think even at that point. I don't think he's sure what he's gonna do. And He's sure she talks to Ben. Then she talks to Matt, and he's obviously his stitches popped a little bit from all the jumping around. And then we get this scene where he decides to go with the story.
Yeah.
And he yep.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a nice, Ben, Matt telling Ben you need to get a better coat, and he tells, Ben tells Matt you need to get a better outfit, and he says I'm working on it, and Ben is out there and he's pushing it, and he totally is insubordinate to his boss. I mean, totally insubordinate, and that he's right, but you understand why his boss fires him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care. And I think what makes this so sad is his wife, in and out of her Alzheimer fog, is so supportive of him. She says there's this thing called the internet, and you could get this out. I'm glad you've been fired. They were keeping you back. I mean, she blindly loves him and is going to back him till the end of the earth. And that was a really beautiful scene.
And it's a way we'll talk about the big consequence of that when we get to it. But yeah, it's so odd. Like Ben's it's like he has that moment of clarity where he sees obviously the papers run by. That's why his stories gets fought so much. That's why he can't get any stories in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we get the scene at the gals where the blind people. It's just crazy what they just start attacking Matt.
Yeah, and because at first, no one sees him, which I thought was really cool, right? Because they're all blind. So they don't know what's going on. But when she sees them and everything happen, great stunts, great action sequence, really well done. And so really, really cool.
And so I like how there's that moment where Leland's like, "Are you sure you can trust him at the beginning?" He gave him all Fisk says is Leland. Damn, I'm
Yeah.
off my game today. Wesley trusted him,
Yeah, and that's
so
enough for
that's all
me.
he needed.
Right.
And then I don't wonder if anything's going to come with him saying double. I mean, he says double the offer on the streets to get information, then keep doubling. Because
Till
the thing
someone
about that is
talks.
someone's going to talk for that kind of money.
Absolutely. Um,
And then we get Daredevil lighting some drugs on fire.
yes. Really cool. Um, we also get the reveal, which is not a shock, but Leland and Gal talking. Oh, you speak English now? Oh, the time for deception is over.
Well,
Yeah.
before that, I think we should mention that because now that I know Steel Serpent is connected to Iron Fist, it makes so much sense what happens between her and Matt.
Ah,
Because
okay.
that is chi martial arts, being able to hit him back, one hit, and it drives him halfway across the room.
Okay, yes, that makes total sense.
I bet she's gonna pop up in the Iron Fist show.
I think she will too.
Well, like it's Iron. I know they're doing Heroes for Hot. I forget exactly what their sequence they're planning on is. I know they were doing this to test things out, and obviously if it's getting season 2, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the next time. Oh, and we have to say, Daredevil says you blinded them. They said no, they blinded themselves to learn or to seek the truth.
Right.
What does that mean?
Hmm.
I mean, do you have any theories? Because I got nothing.
No, I don't.
I really hope because I gotta know what that means.
Hmm.
But we'll see. And I like when he's like, help these people out of here, and he makes the guy because he was just gonna leave the people to burn. But after that, we get the scene you talked. Oh, we also get Matt being run to his friend the cop. What's his name? Oh, I don't have his name written down, but it's his buddy.
Yeah, and he kind of tells them what's going on, right?
Mm.
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, and you know that your mileage may vary. Jessica Jones is supposed to be second, but I've heard rumors that may be pushed. Then Luke Cage, and then Iron Fist, and then Defenders.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So it'd be funny if if his buddy believes in where they go. But then we get the scene you talk about Leland and Gal. So I think Gal's not going to pop up. I don't know if she's going to pop in season 2 because it sounds like she's leaving.
Yes.
And she even says heroin. She doesn't even care about heroin. It's just a convenience, which is
Right.
no longer convenient.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we talked about it, but I would be so nervous. I mean, that's why I said it just makes me. Leland and them are they are playing with fire, and I do hope Wilson finds out.
Me too. And we also like you said, she says the time for Lucian has passed. But I really well, and we gotta remember, they actually. Well, I don't know if they thought they were helping Fisk or just helping themselves. That because I know Gal respects Fisk. Leland, I'm not sure,
Yes.
but Gal definitely. So I don't know what. Well, they both could have had their own reasons, but
Mm-hmm.
Gal obviously still thinks that they were. I like how surprised she could see now she's starting to see the strength in Vanessa.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Gal is actually somewhat sad. I think sad and oh, I love this when she says, "Did you kill Wesley?" And all she says is, "No, he never showed me discourtesy."
Right. So, like, why would I do that? No, he's good. So, yeah. And so no one knows who has killed him because they keep asking people, "Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do
I
this?"
wonder if they're gonna find. I wonder if it's gonna be revealed.
I don't know.
Because if Fisk finds out, he's going after Karen with everything he's got.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we see, like I said, I mean, Gal's like, I'm returning to my homeland. I wonder if
Yeah.
that's going to have a connection to Kunlun and Iron Fist.
Yeah, and he asked about it, and she says it's even further away.
Right.
Right.
I think that sounds like Kunlun.
Yes, I agree.
And Leland says he's got some tricks too. I
Yes.
wonder if that means. I wonder if there's going to be more because Leland Owlsley. That sounds like. I almost
Yeah.
think we're gonna. I'm almost gonna think we're gonna get some weird Batman crossover. He's gonna be from the Court of Owls.
Yes. Very nice. I like that.
Yeah. Yes. So then we get the scene with Ben and his wife, and she, like you said, she tells him, "You're a reporter. You need to do this." So she's. I mean, what's that gonna? I mean, I wonder if we're gonna get a scene with her finding out.
Yeah.
Because even though she's seen on or whatever.
I don't know because it's very sad, and but it's a touching that they're there together, right?
Yes.
Uh,
And although we should have known something was going to happen when he said the words, "I'm doing the story tonight." I'm like, oh
yes.
boy.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah, absolutely.
so before the scene that we know we all want to talk about, we get Matt and Karen
And
discuss now. What'd you take from this scene?
so, Matt kind of breaks down and talks about,
Yes.
I can't do this alone. And
Yes.
she's like, well, you never were alone. So I think it was really good to see. I think it was important to them. But yes, I think it was an important thing to show, but, just crazy. Yeah.
Well, it's people for like we obviously we look at superheroes and like I think around it was probably around the 70s and 80s where it started and more like we stopped using the whole superheroes never have I mean think of it, saving people every day of your life would take a toll on the strongest person.
Absolutely.
I mean I love that we're now I'm hoping. Now I wouldn't mind a relationship with Matt and Karen eventually, but I hope it's not too soon for
Right.
this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I really, really like, I actually like Matt and Claire, and I really love seeing Foggy and Karen interact
I
together.
would love that. Would be a huge curveball that I would love to see.
Yes, I agree.
The friend getting the hot girl. Because
Yes,
it would totally work.
I agree.
So now I think he might. I wonder if he's going to tell her. I think he's going to tell her next episode.
Okay, I don't think so. I think they're going to wait,
You think?
yeah, I do. But I could be wrong.
Well, we'll see. So we get the scene I know you want to talk about.
Yes.
Oh God, I did not see this coming.
No, I didn't either because, um, you had seen, and we talked about this earlier, the mirroring, right? So Fisk is waiting in Ben's house, and he's very calm. I just want to have a conversation. Why should I believe anything you said? I promise to be honest with you. And he's very matter of fact. I apologize for thinking you were irrelevant. I try to learn from my mistakes. I mean, he is as calm and as logical as we've ever seen, Fisk. And I think Ben and him have a great discussion. He admits that, yes, he had made arrangements that, at the paper so that, he tried to learn from his mistakes, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I will tell you, I did not see this coming whatsoever. I was shocked.
Oh God, when he just, and what's funny, he would have let him live if he hadn't, if they had never done anything with his mother.
Yeah, and he said, the getting very, very, very upset, that dare you, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he just leaps, and now I know this is obvious. Do you think he's definitely dead?
Yeah, I think, I was worried, I was hoping, so, Wesley would not die. I was hoping that, hey, that this is, but dead. And then I also, so I think he is dead. I think he is gone. I think a mainstay of the comic books, during the first season.
He's the main Daredevil,
Yeah.
To kill him is like, whoa.
Yeah. And I just was amazed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, before we finish up, because I've been researching the episode, I never thought before but I think, as I was looking at Steel Serpent, I think I know who that might be. It's another character from Iron Fist called Grandmother.
Okay.
She's not the ruler of K'un-Lun, but she's a ruler of a similar city called K'un-Zi. And she's definitely a villain. So if I'm speed reading through her biography, and I'm not the only person who has saw this, I think it's probably her. So I think that improves my theory that she's going to pop up in Iron Fist.
Okay. All right. That would be very cool.
Okay, so back to now. He just strangled him with his bare hand. And steps on the picture of him and his wife as he leaves. Oh my God!
It is so very, very. You can tell he's upset, and it was just amazing. You're like, I can't believe they've killed this character.
I was trying to think of a good comparison, and the best one is because this is exactly like if you had a Spider-Man show and you killed Joe Robbie Robertson.
Yes. That's exactly what it's like. Because you're like, what? Why the hell is this doing on, So,
now, of course, Daredevil does have some mystical, so there's the slightest chance we might get to see him brought back.
Yes.
Slight.
Yeah.
Oh, what if this is not the end of Wesley either?
I love that actor, so I would be okay with that. But very, very crazy,
Yeah, oh God, he comes back to life and he becomes Bullseye.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I said that he could be. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because we see when he's talking with Karen that he's like, oh, we're gonna kill your family. Like maybe he's the one that started that whole. Because we don't know who Wilson was in between Kid Wilson and Fisk.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Like I'm hoping we get some backstory, but we'll see. So I was blown away, and it's a risk killing a character like this. But I mean, it's something I've always said about Thrones. Thrones is a fantasy show, but even though it's got myth and magic, it's realistic in its human aspect. This is the same thing. Comic book, but real. Even though it's still got Arrow could learn from this show. It's still got the comic book vibe, but it's realistic.
Yeah, and you hate losing great people.
Right.
We all do, but that makes you go. No one is safe. We have to be, and anything can happen. And that gives you a risk that when you're watching the show helps it, as you said, be realistic. And not realistic as in this is a documentary, but there is real risk and that these characters we care about, no one is safe. That is exactly the feel you have in Game of Thrones. And that is what they've done in this season. I am honestly afraid for this next episode. Now, I would not think Foggy or Karen or Vanessa would die, but I have a little bit of doubt in my mind, right?
And that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to guess, I don't think Foggy, maybe Karen, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? We will have to watch and see.
Absolutely. So, your rating?
Oh, I have no number, but it's just, oh God, the surprise made the whole. I mean, I just did not see that coming, and I am so itching to see what the final episode of the season. I'm sure I'll be blown away.
Absolutely. I am going to give this 9.5 shattered photo frames.
Oh, jeez.
And by the way, we're doing a Halt and Catch Fire podcast on this same network. I am doing it with Dave and Matt, and we do a byte, kilobyte, and a megabyte so a scale 1 to 3. But I told them that if they had not come up with that rating, that I would have done a scale 1 to 10 and picked an item. And the whole purpose is to make your co-host either laugh or groan. So thank you, Zach, that all 11 episodes, all 12 episodes, I guess, you have groaned or laughed. So thank you. You're a wonderful partner.
No problem.
So, hey, we're one episode away.
Finally, I can watch the finale.
Absolutely. Where can our listeners find you?
Well, you can find me on the podcast pages on Facebook for the multitude of podcasts I do for Southgate. But, of course, you can also check out my personal Facebook. Go ahead, Zachary here. And, of course, Interim Insanity on Twitter.
And I can be reached at JWJ170104 on Twitter. I have a personal Facebook page as well, Jesse Jackson. I do a Doctor Who podcast for Southgate Media, and so would love for you to check it out. But for now, remember, rocks get hit a lot, but we always get up. Thank you, and we will see you soon for the final episode of Season 1. Bye!